Yes, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we'll start the discussion on plant physiology, that is anatomy, morphology and physiology. We all know that they are something, a different group of organisms. Till date we have discussed about a normal cell, a living cell, bacterial cell or a eukaryotic cell. Then we have discussed about the comparison between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Then within eukaryotic cell we have discussed the different organelles as well. Now in this second unit particularly we will discuss about the anatomy of plant, morphology of the different organs of plant, and we'll end with some classification systems of the plants, classification for angiosperm and for gymnosperm. So we'll start with the anatomy. What is anatomy? Anatomy is the study of the structure. That is how it looks like. So anatomy, it intends to study the external appearance or the appearance of a particular cell or a tissue or a organ. That is morphology, it is the study of form. And what is physiology? Physiology is the study of the function of that particular cell. So what actually it does is studied in the physiology. Like in case with physiology we will discuss, there are different events like photosynthesis or conduction of water and other things. But anatomy, it is how the structure looks like or what it is made up of, what type of cells it has, what are the different types of cells, how they group together, how they form an organ, how they form an organ system, and likewise. Always keep in mind that anatomy, morphology and physiology, these are related things. The structure, it correlates to function. What we learn in anatomy, we learn the structure, and why we learn it, we want to study the function. Whatever we learn in the anatomy, we learn it for on a deeper sense to understand its function. That is structure, it correlates to function. Even this same applies to our proteins or amino acid also. What type of structure a particular protein acquires, it depicts or it decides what type of function that protein will carry out. Now there are several questions like how these palm trees or how these long trees, they can transport the water from this ground level to a very apical level or very tall level. So for that they have certain tissues, some cells which are destined for that particular function, like xylems, which are conducting tissues which carries out that particular task. Now anatomy, about the plant cell. The plant cells, as we know that cells are the basic structural and functional unit of life. We have also discussed the same thing in unit first. Now they can specialize in forms and function. Now we know that the cells in an eukaryotic organism, these all cells, they start from a initial cell, initial zygotic cell, or initial cells which are few in number. Later on they keep on dividing by the mode of either mitosis or meiosis, or in case with some other type of division can be seen, like binary fission and formation of spore and other things. But they keep on increasing their numbers. As they keep on increasing in the numbers, the cells, they end up with a particular fate. That is, the fate has been locked. So from undifferentiated cells, they end up with differentiated cells. Differentiated cells means from a common progenitor cell, which we can call as a stem cell, or we can call them as a progenitor cell, which has n number of functions, which can develop into different types of cells. These cells, during their course of development, they are ended up with a particular function. That is, their fate has been locked. So some cells, they will be destined to function one particular task. and likewise. Similar thing we have discussed in the animal cells also. So that process is called as a differentiation. So by the mechanism of differentiation, from a common zygotic cell, in case with the human beings we can take an example, from a common or from a single zygotic cells, different cells are formed, like we have different organs, where from that organ comes, they come from a tissues. What are tissues? They are group of cells, and these cells, they are targeted or they are given a particular function. They have been assigned with a particular function. So this process, formation of different types of cells from common cell, is called as a differentiation. Such situation can also be seen in the plant cell. In case with plant cell, instead of calling it as a stem cell, we call them as a meristem, or such tissues, they are regarded as a meristematic tissues. So plants or the cells can specialize in form and function. In form matlab they can acquire a particular structure or a particular shape, and likely they can acquire a particular function. By working together, these cells, they can form a tissue, and they can support each other, and they can survive. So this is an hierarchy of the cellular organization, that is from a small atom, group of atoms together, and they form a molecule. Molecules come together and they form biomolecules, and biomolecules make up a cell. From group of cells with same structure and function, they form a tissue. Tissues, they come together and they form an organ, and from organ system, and an entire plant or a particular organism has been formed. And next level is the population. So from a smallest of the atom, or in fact इससे भी छोटा हो सकता है, we know that subatomic particles. So from smallest atom to the largest of the population, there is a hierarchy of organism. Now plant tissues, they can be of, or they can be categorized as in three different classes. All plants or plant organs, they are root, stem, leaves. They are composed of some tissues, that is group of cells with same function. These tissues can be further classified as dermal tissues. As the name suggests, they are the outermost layer of cells. So dermal tissues. Next is the ground tissue, that is bulk of inner layers, and very center to this stem, to the cells or this particular structure, there is presence of vascular tissues. So vascular tissues, they are the conducting tissues. As the name suggests, conducting tissues means they are employed for a particular function, that is transporting food and water across the plant. So if they are xylem, they can transport the water from root to the aerial part or other part, while the phloem, it transports the other organic matters from the mostly from the leaves, or from where the energy is synthesized, to the other places, that can be to the roots or other part of the plants. Now the dermal tissues, epidermis is regarded as the outermost layer of a cell, epidermis, so which is outside that cell. So it is the outermost layer present. Like next is like the skin of animals, which is regarded as the dermal tissues, they are the epidermis. So the outermost layer is regarded as an epidermis. In stems and leaves, the epidermis has cuticle. So it has a outer covering or tough covering, which prevents it from the other environment, or it also protects it from water loss and other thing. That is the water which has been absorbed from the roots and transported with the help of xylem to these plants. So on the surface of stem and leaves, there is a presence of a thick waxy coating, and this waxy coating, it checks the water loss. Next is sometimes they also have trichomes, that is hair-like appendages or structures. Root epidermis also has root hairs in it. What is the function of that root hair? The main function is for the water and nutrient absorptions, and they increases the surface area of that particular plant or that roots. The vascular tissues, they are employed in the transport of water and other organic matters like sugars throughout the plant. That sugar can be glucose or it can be converted into sucrose, and it is transported by the tissue called as a phloem. Xylem, they are employed in the transport of water and other ions from root to the stem and leaves. So it is negative geotropically transporting the water from collecting from the roots and transporting it to the aerial part of the plant. While phloem, they are transporting the dissolved sugar from leaf where they are synthesized to the other part of the plant, that can be towards the root or to the other parts of the plant. So phloem, they are employed in the food transport, while xylem, they are employed in the water transport. Xylem, they transport water, and along with water they also transport the dissolved minerals, so that have been absorbed from the soil. So this xylem, they also consist of some other elements like tracheids, vessels, pits. So they are one of the, what we can say, complex tissues. Complex tissues means which are made up of more than one type of cells. जिस सेल्स में या जिस टिश्यूज़ में एक से ज़्यादा टाइप के सेल्स है उसको हम कॉम्प्लेक्स टिश्यूज़ कह सकते हैं. देयर आर ऑल्सो सिंपलर टिश्यूज़ लाइक कोलेनकाइमा, स्क्लेरेनकाइमा, phloemkaima. So they are simple tissues, as the name suggests. They are simple means they are made up of same type of cells. So out of that, phloemkaima is the major tissue which is involved in the photosynthetic activity. Colenchyma is it provides the support to the cell, and sclerenchyma, it is the dead tissue or almost dead tissue which is mainly employed in the protection of the cell. They are made up of only same type of cells, so we call them as a simple tissues. While these vascular tissues, the xylem, phloem, they are made up of more than one type of cells, so we call them as a complex tissues. These tracheids, they are long tube-like structures. These tracheids without perforation at the end, so they don't have any opening over there. Their ends are fused. Next is the vessel elements. These vessel elements, they are short but they are having wider hollow tube-like structure. Also they are perforated at the ends, that is their two ends, they are open like a open pipe, like a vessel. Both cells have small openings or thin sections which we can call as a dotted structure like pits on their wall. The xylem cells, they are dead cells, and in plant cell, these dead cells, they are mainly employed for the protection work and other structural support. These xylem cells particularly, they are employed for the transport of the water, that is, they are conducting tissues. They are hollow cells and consist only of cell wall, so all other components have been lost. While the phloem, they are the live cells, they can transport the organic matters. However, they lack the nucleus and other organelles. So it's as seen in case with the xylems, they are devoid or they are lacking the cellular organelles, other organelles, and they have a thick cell wall. While the phloem, they have the cellular components with them, but it lacks the nucleus and cellular components, but they are the live cells. This phloem also, as we have discussed, they are complex tissues. They also contain sieve plates, companion cells, again phloem parenchyma cells. So they are a mixture of different types of cells which come together and they form what we can say tubing like structure, which is mainly employed for the conduction of organic matter, that is food components, from where it is synthesized to the other part where it is required. Phloem, it transports the sugar. Phloem, as it is composed of cells called as the sieve tubes or sieve tubes members. Companion cells, these companion cells, they share their nucleus with the other cells. They join sieve tube members, are related and help to load material into the sieve tube members. End walls of the sieve tube members have large pores called as in sieve plates. Its major function is transport of the organic matters or the food molecules. Next is the ground tissue. So the space after epidermis and that vascular tissue, major part of the plant cell is covered by the ground tissues. It makes up the bulk of the plant organ. Its function is, it is employed in the metabolism, it is employed in the storage, and it also employs in the support of that particular plant. So in case with the root, in case with the stem, in case with the leaf, we can find this ground tissues. So major part of this cross section is covered by the ground tissues. Epidermis, they are at the extreme end, while the vascular tissue, they are at the center. It again depends upon the type of, further if we classify the plants in monocot and dicot, it will vary, but it is present, the vascular tissues, they are present at the center, and rest of the area is covered by the ground tissues. As the name suggests, it covers the major part. We can also call it as a cortex. Now plant organs, the tissues that act together to serve a particular function or specific function, that is group of tissues which is employed for a particular function, they come together and that structure that is formed, we can call it as an organ. So in plants we will study mainly three major organs, that is root, stem and leaves. In all these cases we can find this dermal, vascular and ground tissues in them. So function of plant organs, root, we all know this, they help to encourage, they help to support the plant to stand and all. Second, they help in the absorption of water and nutrition or mineral components from the soil. They also help in the storage of these food molecules. They also employed in the water and nutrient transport. So roots, their main function is to provide support to the plant, that is help the anchorage. Second is for the absorption of the nutrition from the soil and the surrounding matter. Next is the storage, and lastly the transport of these molecules to the other part of the plant. While stem, its major function is to give support. So here we can find, we have underlined these things. Root, its main function is absorption. Root, its main function is absorption. Stem, its main function is to support, and leaves, its main function is to synthesize the food. So that is, photosynthesis is mainly employed or taking place in the leaves, that is green leaves, by the mechanism of photosynthesis, that is harvesting solar energy and converting it into chemical energy. Stem, they provide support to the plant, but along with that they also help in the transport of this water and other organic nutrients from root to the aerial part and from aerial part to the roots. So stem, it carries out the dual role. It provides the support and transport of the minerals and water. Roots, they are the hidden half. So these are buried under the soil in most of the cases, unless they are aerial roots. Most of the plants, they have the roots which are buried or they are below the soil surface. So they move by positive geotropic movement, that is they keep on moving or increasing in their size and shape and or in length within the soil. So they are the hidden half. The functions of the root, as we have discussed, the main function is to anchorage. Second is for the absorption of water and dissolved mineral. Next is the transport of additional components that has been synthesized, like the food and other components. The starch, majorly the glucose is converted into starch and it has been transported to the other part if required. And next is the conduction of water and other minerals to the other part of the plant. Anatomy of the root, here we can see the outermost layer is the epidermis, this brown color structure. Next is the vascular structure, which is at the very center of the cell, while this major part of this cell is occupied by this cortex, so which is made up of ground tissues. Root epidermis, the outermost layer, epidermis, is a single layer of cells that protects it from the pathogens and other components. It absorbs water and nutrients. Next is the root hairs, small hair-like structures. This tubular extension of epidermal cells, what for they are there? They increases the surface area of the root. They help in the transport or better transport of water and absorption of nutrient and other component from the surrounding matter. Now these root hairs, how they do the function is, they may have branches in them. So this branch, small branch, this bird can, apical bird can keep on increasing in the length, and they may form the lateral roots. So they can form the different types of branched root system which we generally find in the dicot plants. While in case with the monocots, we find the adventitious roots where only one long central root is been seen. While in case with the dicot plants, we will find that there is what we can say, more branching can be seen, and the plant they are having extended root network or network of root structure within the soil surface. Now root cortex, their main function is for the storage of the food and other components, as we can see here in the radish, the carrot and other sweet potatoes and other. Ground tissues, the major part of it is that is covered, also known as the cortex. It provides support. They often store sugars and other components within a plant, like in case with the starch, potatoes and all. Next is the root cortex, that is the internal part of other than the cortex. Next to the cortex is the endodermis, so which culminates or which ends with the cortex region. The endodermis is the innermost layer of the cortex. So epidermis was the outermost layer of this plant, and endodermis is the innermost layer of this cortex. So this cortex, from here to here, we can consider this as a cortex. So this is the lining which we can call as an endodermis. This cortex, it may contain the Casparian strips. The main function is it is water impermeable strip of waxy materials which is found within the endodermis, that is innermost layer of the cortex. What its function is, it helps to control the uptake of mineral to the xylem, that is they may have or they may help them to go to the cytoplasm of the cell. So that is the collection of, it is as like a pipeline or tubings which collect the sample or which collect the food and other components, sorry, water and other components from the soil and transport it to the other aerial parts. Next organ is the stem, the above ground organ. Stem, it supports the leaves and fruits. It conducts the water and the sugar and other components throughout the plant with the help of the conducting tissues, that is xylem and phloem. Stem anatomy, again it consists of the dermal, ground and vascular tissues. So the outermost layer here we can find epidermis, the internal is the vascular bundles, and between them is the cortex region which we can call as the ground tissues. In case with the plants stem, we can find there is a presence of pith. So it was not seen in the case with the root, but in case with the stem there is a presence of pith structure. Again it varies with the monocot and dicot plants. In case with the monocot plant, here we can find they are freely scattered, while in case with the dicots they are clubbed together and very next to the epidermal, or they are very near to the cortex or very near to the epidermis within a cortex. Now types of stem, it can be herbaceous, as in case with most of the grasses the stem is very thin and delicate, while in case with the woody stem, the stem which is having tough stem we can call as a woody stem. So herbaceous and woody, these are, we can categorize the stem into two major categories. So tissues of the stems, epidermis, the outermost layer, provides protection. It has a cuticle, a waxy covering which prevents the water loss. Trichome small hair-like appendages can be seen over here also to release the scent or the other essential components, and oils for the secretion and other components. The vascular tissues within a stem, they are the conducting tissues, xylem, phloems. So vascular bundles composed of both xylem and phloem, they conduct water and provide support. Phloem, it conducts the food and also support. Vascular cambium occurs within a woody stem. So cambium, this particular structure can be seen in case with the woody stem. So vascular cambiums, they are located in the middle of the vascular bundle between xylem and phloem, and they can be used in identifying the age of a plant. So vascular tissues, they are located on the outer layer of the trees. Here we can find the outermost layer of a perennial plant. Say this is the bark, the outermost layer. Next the phloem, this is the xylem, and between xylem and phloem there is a presence of vascular cambium. So this wood, the central plant, it may have some layers or ring-like structures. Griddling, that is cutting around a tree, so it can damage the phloem and xylem, that is conducting tissues, and eventually the plant can be died. Annual rings, this vascular tissues, that is xylem and phloems, they can or they keep on growing every year, so we can call them as an annual rings also. Every year a new ring has been formed. So even if you take a section of such plant and we can count this number of rings, we can estimate the exact age of that particular plant. So for every season or every year it forms a particular ring. So we can use it in dendrochronology, that is study to help to identify the age of a particular plant. So dendrochronology, that is tree time keeping, how long it has grown. So here we can take an example. Here this is a stem, a cross section of a stem. It has so many number of vascular tissue or the annual rings in it. So even from 1489 to we can study it 1491. So every year what major changes have been shown over there. So these ring like structures, they are the annual rings. Every time this ring is seen, we can say that the plant has grown or it has grown 1 year older. Next, the ground tissues, that is cortex and pith. It stores the food as seen in case with the potatoes. They are site of photosynthesis when if the stem is green in color, and it provides the support to the plants. The next part is the leaves. They are the major site where the photosynthesis can take place. They may have different shapes. Where from it originate, it is called as a petiole, and this blade like structure is the leaf structure. Leaf anatomy. Leaf anatomy is correlated to the photosynthesis. We know that the major function of leaf is the photosynthesis. Again, it has the dermal tissues from either side. So from both the side we can find the dermal tissues from upper and lower side. So on both the side even we can find the stomata as well, from where the water loss can be seen. To check the water loss, there is a presence of stomata, and the stomata can be of different types as well. So at the center of this leaf there is a presence of vascular tissues, and the major part of it is covered by the ground tissue or cortex. Its major function is collection of carbon dioxide in presence of sunlight and water. It converts into glucose, that is the different types of sugars, which may be further converted into sucrose, and it liberates the oxygen. Along with that, they have different photosynthetic pigments in them. So they have color pigments in them. They have cytochromes, cytochrome A, B, C, D likewise. Epidermis, it is the transparent structure. So the sunlight can go within or through this leaf structure, the outermost covering. The waxy cuticle, it protects it against the sunlight, or as it is exposed to the direct environment, it protects it from the external environment. Lower epidermis, it may have stomata with the guard cells. So these are some guard cells which has a bean-like structures. They are mainly employed for the exchange of gases and water loss, or to check the water loss. So that stomata can be sunken stomata, or it can be photoactive stomata, depending upon the type of plants. Leaf epidermis, they may have trichomes on them, like the fusy texture in this case. The vascular tissues, they are also seen in case with the plants, because the food is synthesized, it has to be transported to the other organs. The phloem is mainly employed in that. While for the need of water, the xylem, it provides the water to these leaves from after collecting it from the root and transporting through the stem. It provides it to the leaves. So leaves, they are the major synthetic organ where they synthesizes the food, and with the help of phloem they are transported to the other part of the plants. Mesophyll cells, they are the middle cells. Mesophylls, as the name suggests, middle of the leaf, they are composed of that. They are mainly employed in the photosynthesis. So palisade, parenchyma, they are long columnar cells. So these cells are the long slender cells, here we can see. So they are long slender like structures. So palisade cells we can call them. They has the chloroplast in it, which is mainly responsible for the photosynthesis. It may also have spherical parenchyma cells, or we can call them as the spongy cells. They may have air sacs or spaces within them for the exchange of gases and other components. So how this water is transported, we will discuss this in some other lecture, that is transport of water and other component. If you have any doubt, you can ask.